Welcome to DC. You know where you're at, the USA count. You're taking it slightly, I'm taking it slightly. Now how you gon' act on you gon' be right back. Well, we gon' be right here, we gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC. DC, the home of Chuck Brown. Oh, you don't know the sound? Well, let me break it down. The G.O., the G.O., the...
All right, this week it is a Miraculous Monday, and for that we bring in the doctor, Rick Doc Walker. How are you today, sir?
It's a Victory Monday. You know exactly how I feel. Hey, man, I went a month. I'm like, I always say I should stop eating when they don't win, but then I'd be sticking bones. I go, but I feel like that. George Allen had the original quote of saying every time he loses, he feels like he loses an organ, like his kidney shut down or whatever. When he wins, you get that back. I am so resilient right now. I feel so good because it was a thorough ass kicking. They didn't win on a last second field goal. They played the most physical team you'll play. Tampa Bay is physical. And we matched the intensity. Then we added some skill to it. And when Taylor Heineke doesn't turn the ball over, when Gibson doesn't turn the ball over, we hard to beat. The formula's there. You got Landon Collins in the box, killing it. I'm looking at baby Bull Davis. Now you're seeing. Now I'm looking at the scouting department going, oh, okay, you guys got an eye for it. So he had a slow start. That's your fault, not playing him in the third preseason game. Who the hell keeps a rookie out of a preseason game? They did, and it was a mistake. Just like getting the kicker that came in here, and you go get a guy. Now, Hop was having some issues. You go get a guy who hadn't kicked in a game, and you get 3 of those blocks. Bad move. But you covered up. You went and got a Hokie. He came up in that joint, would look like Mark Mosley. So all I'm saying is that nobody's perfect. But the staff, they were pointing out who wasn't doing well. Well, they weren't doing well as the staff, but they got it together. And the bye week, why the hell were they thinking they won't have a vacation? He kept them here. Hell, he should have practiced them every day. They had 2 damn wins. And so they locked in, they got focused, and they played for them colors, burgundy and gold, and it meant something. And so we didn't get sand kicked in our face. We did the kicking. And Terry McLaurin, this dude, man.
Incredible.
Oh, man. It's so, it reminds me so much of James Arthur Monk. He don't say a whole lot, but he does a whole lot. And we're used to our receivers being leaders. Gary Clark, leader. These guys, man, Ricky Sanders. That posse, they earned that. And I just started seeing it, and you look at it and you say, give me Carter. You give me Carter.
Hell of a game.
Give me McLaurin, and you give me Sims, let's go to war. See, we got talent. We got receivers. I'm not waiting on a guy who's been hurt the whole time he's been here. He may be a great player next year. But right now, somebody botched that deal. How does a guy not ever heal? Well, your trainer had been indicted, so maybe that was a bad decision by Ron Rivera. But all I'm saying is that Ron, he cleaned it up. Our old guy, Bubba Tyer, was over there. Nothing's perfect. They fixed it. They got it right. Sheriff came back. Big boy, big nasty is what I call him. He was out there rumbling. I miss being around these guys because I'd love to interact with them. Because Leno, I love these dudes, man. They don't get no credit. And Scott Turner, I'm giving him the game ball because he stopped looking at that sheet and he let his gut tell him what's going on. They kept pounding that rock. They kept running it. And you're running it up against the best. Tampa Bay, baby, it's a house party. They bring it. And we matched it. We matched that intensity. So I'm in love with him right now. It's a weak thing. And we got a big game coming up because it's an emotional game. Ron goes back home. Cam's now back. All right. But, Cam will play, Ron won't. But let's get them puppies ready to go. And if Chase Young is done, he will still be there spiritually because that's what he was giving them. He was giving them as much spirit as he was production.
And he, as Ron said just this morning, he's done for the year.
Yeah, I assume he was. Yeah. I always assume the worst. As soon as a guy goes down like that, I hope Vita Veda for Tampa, I hope he's not out for the year. I know what these guys put in. Hate to see that go, but it's part of the game. That's why I like Williams, and I mentioned Shaka Tony, and I mentioned these guys who, like Cameron Curl, bring in the lumber. I mean,
they were hitting on Sunday.
Guys catching, Bobby McClain catching the ball, getting those turnovers. It's the best game that I think Fuller played, and he can even be better. I think this guy's a hell of a talent, but I don't know if he's been in the right position for himself. Just like you're still learning your team. You got 8 games to go. Do you realize half a season? So you got enough time to do whatever it takes to get yourself in a position to get in the tournament. But it's a 1 week at a time affair. Everything's got to go into beating the Panthers. And Denver, that was a critical loss because you see everybody's bitch slapping them now. And we should have done the same thing. But that's over. Now let's move forward. And December, get your popcorn ready because the Eagles are no joke. See, the Eagles are what I like. Everybody thumbing down at them, not giving them their due. They don't listen to outside noise. They have a winner at quarterback. He may not be Joe Montana, but I tell you what, Hurst is a pro. He can throw it, run it. Philly, they got a nice, nasty attitude, and they're going to be a problem. But we get them twice. We get them Cowboys, and they are very good. Dallas is really good. But that's a rivalry game for us. And I'm just telling you, man, and the Giants, it's just in our own little world. That's 5 games. You're going up against your brothers in the backyard. This is cousins playing, man. So anything can happen, but it starts with the Panthers. And I think that if Heineke and Gibson don't turn the ball over, we got a chance to win.
It's interesting. These Ron Rivera teams tend to get better as the years go on, or as the season go on. Why is that particular teams, certain coaches tend to get it rolling, where some coaches, it feels like, right as the season starts, they're ready to rock and roll? What is that does that? Do you know?
I don't know because I wasn't around them in camp. I don't know how they practice. I don't know what they do. I was very critical of him not playing everybody for the 3rd preseason game. I think the slow start, they don't hit. They're not in pads enough. It's too many shells and too much walkthroughs, and you gotta build a callus, man, around your body. Contact is a part of this sport. The Ravens lost to 3 backs. They had 17 people on IR. Do you ever hear him bitch about it? No. Ron and them, they talk too much. This is go play. Get the next guy up. If he's good enough to be on your team, he's good enough to be in the damn game, or you made a mistake.
It was that drive was the longest since 91. And then they punched it in with a touchdown. I was so nervous, Doc, that they were going to get all the way down there.
And go empty backfield, try to throw a flare pass.
So,
now, give Turner credit. I mean, he went mano y mano, and we won against a team that I respect the hell out of. Yes. 45 on defense, you ain't going to see nobody better. You played the best middle linebacker in the world.
No doubt about it. And it was easy to see because he was flying all over the field. And I think to your point, we might have one of those, but middle linebackers and tight ends, they say it all the time, hardest position to translate. The kid's going to need some time.
And Bates played well.
And I was going to say, I liked Bates as well.
Seals Jones, he missed one, but boy, that boy is a player. But now he's nicked, and we go to Bates. Bates balled out, man. He's nasty. He likes to block. He catches the ball. He rumbles through. So, I'm pleased with the way it worked out. We never trailed. First of all, we had a lead for the first time ever. And your defense, and this is one thing, Chase, and they never got a chance to play with a lead.
Yeah.
If you think, man, defenses play better when they know you have to throw and that you're a little bit desperate. But these guys went out there, man, and the guys that played, this is pro ball. Everybody that suits up ought to be able to play the game. Coach them up. First of all, pick the right people, then coach them up. And now it becomes the athlete, Cameron Curl. He just don't want to be denied. He's going to knock your behind out. He's bringing it. John Allen is playing as well as anybody in the National Football League.
Yes.
So we finally have a guy playing at the highest level every snap.
Maybe the second best interior defensive lineman in the league.
Could be. I mean, Aaron Donald is sitting on the throne. But I tell you what, John Allen's going to be in the room. And if that's not all pro, then I don't know what all pro looks like. Every stinking game, he's bringing it. Baby Bull Payne also flashed out. He going to get into the party. It's time for everybody to get into the party, man, and go after it. And so I think when you see 55 and 52, we needed better inside linebacker play. Those kids are bringing it now, and they're young.
Yeah.
We don't have no dinosaurs out there. This team is young, and it's just gotta. And Ron's been saying it, discipline, but he's a timeout parent. I don't believe in timeout. See, I'm gonna put some wood on you. See, I'm gonna get your attention. And now it looks like these guys are finally getting into it. I miss those post-game speeches. See, Ron Rivera in Carolina, he was spitting out flames. He, man, fought cancer last year. I mean, come on. So he's getting himself back together. But, boy, I love what he said after that one.
I did, too.
Yeah, I loved it, man. I'm like, okay, Ron, crank it up. Tough love. See, too many hugs over there. We need some tough love. They'll respond, and they responded. That game, had they been beaten up in that game, they'd be done. They'd be like the Jets. They said, we ain't having it. They're not having it. And the FedEx faithful, they represent it. I don't need 80,000.
Right.
I'll take 50 or 60,000 of the right ones. And we got some loyal people here, man. They bleed burgundy and gold. They deserved it. It was very well appreciated because it'll make my week the best week I've had in a month.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Chris Baker has been on most Mondays. This will be his first Victory Monday on the show. Finally, something decent to talk about.
We better learn to be on time. See, these young people, you let him off. You let him off. I would have cut his mic off. See, you, and I love Baker. Baker's my favorite guy. Ask anybody. Ask anybody over the past decade. They know.
I love you too.
I love this dude, man, because let me tell you something. Everything I just described, that's how he played the game. Physical, fury, getting into it, and talking trash. He's all dog,
that's
man.
Right.
This boy here is all canine on my all canine team. It's Baker.
Yes,
I'm telling you what. So, yeah, it's good. I'm glad to have him, man, because they made my day. And that's what the old people want. We can't play, can't bust a grape, but you're watching them it's just like college football. When our teams lose, part of us, we just it's like shutting down an organ. Your team, you watch them. I know he ain't happy with what happened over the weekend. I'm going after all the Texas Longhorns I can get my hands on now because I know they don't want to talk. And so I got an APB out for them because they're a proud university. And right now they're getting their teeth kicked in every week. And I know it ain't fun because I've had the Bruins.
They just lost to Kansas, right?
Yeah, they lost to Kansas. First time Kansas won on the road.
Oh, my God.
It's your alma mater. So for us to watch that game yesterday, I was up there. I went up to alumni. And I'm watching. I'm there with guys who played on that field. You connect with that. I want them to be successful. Regardless of what the organization stance is or what they do, that's irrelevant. It's about the kids. I want to support them. I want to get the chase. And Bacon can tell us, I think John Allen is playing his position as well as anybody in the world right now that puts his hand in the dirt. What say you?
I mean, I said the same thing. And even at the pregame show when I was on with Julian Santana, and they were talking about the keys to victory. Man, I told them, man, the keys to victory is going to be interior pressure. Like, chasing them guys can do all that they want. But if we don't get pressure up that middle, Tom Brady's going to have a field day. But if we could get pressure up that middle and get him off the spot, it's going to aggravate him. Even if you can't sack him and you're just tapping him and you're around his feet and making him throw where he possibly could hit somebody's helmet, that is what makes a quarterback uncomfortable. And from the start of the game, Jonathan Allen was just getting pressure all day. They were running some great, like, pirate stunts to have the linebacker come around and really affecting that A-gap, B-gap area. And Tom Brady was never comfortable. And he threw 2 picks in the first quarter, and that kind of set the tone for the game. Set the tone for the game, And we hate to lose a guy like Chase, but yesterday was about our interior guys. And our interior guys stepped up and made life hell for the running game and Brady all game. And then, hey, we won the game. We got turnovers. That's what we've been needing all week. We needed pressure on the quarterbacks in order to force them to quick throws, and that's what we were able to generate yesterday.
Yeah, my keys on the Fox Game Time pregame show, I said, we got to turn Tom into check down Charlie because, it's just hard to have the long drive that we had at the end of the game. It's very hard to do that. That's why it hasn't been done in 3 years. Yeah. 3 years. 3 years. And if Heineke and Antonio Gibson, if they don't turn the ball over, we're hard out.
Hard.
Now you got to take it from them because we're not going to give you the game. We give up too much.
Then a lot of times yesterday, I always complain about Heineke holding the ball a lot. There was a couple plays where I felt like he did too many pump fakes and held it. But for the most part, he got the ball out quick and he put the ball on the money. And it was just great to see him have that type of success from early on in the game to late in the game. He just found a way to get the ball out quick and put it where it's supposed to be, right at the first down marker. And our guys were making big-time catches. Scary Terry,
that was his best game.
Taking him any day. I'm taking him any day.
You can win with him.
Yeah, how many guys really could take a hit coming across the middle like the one he made late in the fourth quarter? Most guys are dropping that ball. He got up, pounding his chest. Scary Terry, man, he came to play yesterday, man. Everybody came and stepped up at major points in the game in order for us to get that victory. And it was just so proud. You're saying the same thing. I was in the alumni suite for a while, too, and you could just tell everyone there just wants to have success for everyone that plays here. Everyone wants those glory days back, and no matter what our record is now, as long as we just continue to put games together, we still have a chance. We're 1-0 in our division. We're 1-0, and we got 5 division games to end the year. So everything that we want is still at grass.
Chris, they must have been listening to you on this show because they blitzed yesterday and they ran with a lot more tempo on offense. You've been begging for that tempo on offense.
I always said because if you watch Heineke play, when it's must score gotta have the situations. That's when he played his best, when he's up tempo, rolling out of the pocket, doing some play action bootleg passes, and then he has 3 options whether he can freaking run the ball, dump it off to the flats, or dump it to a mid-level receiver. And that's what they did yesterday, and it just worked over and over and over. And I loved it. I loved it, man. It felt so good to be able to talk junk and the fans. Like it just felt good. You know what I mean? I wish it was, completely packed in there, but the people that was there, it was loud. Like it was great to come to a game and not have the away team louder than our home team. You know what I mean? It felt great.
The other guy that needs a whole lot of credit from yesterday's game, who won't probably get it, is Larson. I mean, when maybe one of the best centers goes out 2 weeks ago, I looked at my wife while I watched the games with her a week, and I say, this is going to be a problem right here. The average casual fan doesn't really understand exactly how important that man is who touches the ball every snap on offense. Larson was fantastic. He got beat by Vita Vea one time. He could have that. He was fantastic.
That's it. Yeah.
Vita Vea is the best in the game. Yeah. I mean, Aaron Donald's the best in the game. But for anybody over 350, then I hope he's not hurt. I hope he's not out for the season.
He's not. I saw this morning.
He's not?
No. They're talking about a game or two.
Okay, good. Because I love big fellas.
He was from that
play in that box.
Yeah.
Oh, when you hit size.
He kind of reminds me of Haloti Ngata.
Yes. Haloti Ngata. Yeah, I mean, and their tackles, they're good. They're physical. I love them. That's why I love beating them, because you beat a team that is noted for its physicality, and you beat the champions. Anytime you beat the champions, you know that you belong. And now you got to kick yourself in the ass for taking so long. And you got to kick yourself in the ass for not having yourself ready. See, we're too much into hype and where the guy went to school and what round. It don't matter. None of that matters. That's why I like Williams, Tool Hill. They don't give a damn about none of that. They got playing time now, and they want them a Bentley. So they playing for something. See, the guys that already had a Bentley, sometimes they settle. You got to put a foot in their ass to keep them motivated. But Ron, they doing all that hugging. No, man, you got to bring out the stick because you're working with canines.
That's it.
And so you got to get them going the right direction. They got to coach harder. And that's what he did during the bye week. Told him, you ain't going nowhere. We going to work. See, he cut all that timeout crap. The hell with that. They have underachieved. And you're the coach. That's on you. Get them to going. My kids mess up the house. If my kids that's on me to make sure it's tight and right. So I give them all the credit in the world. Schweitzer? Oh, man, that's my dog, man.
Bro,
big old water buffalo.
Big old water buffalo. Oh,
hey,
my
man,
God.
He's a big physical freak. I'm glad. Love it.
It's the best thing ever when you can see your offensive lineman like him just running downfield, capping off on the plays.
Oh,
so many times you saw in the play when he done pancake somebody, rolling over, getting up, talking shit, and it was whoa, that's what you love to see in an offensive lineman. Man.
I love it. We got depth. You know, our guys are coming. Cosme coming back. I love Bates. I love our rookies. Give the staff and management a lot of credit. They pick guys that can play. They pick guys that can play. When I see number 1 out there, I say, woo!
I was totally off on Carter. He's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I love him.
Practice squad. That's the number 1 draft pick. That's the way he plays.
Yeah.
So it don't matter where they selected. And that's the league's ignorance. They missed on him, but he didn't miss on himself. All that round, that it makes bonus money. Yeah, you want that. But if you don't get that, then go take it. Now you can go write your own contract up based on how you play. And we got some dogs, man. I tell you what, that's why I mentioned them. And you did the same thing. I'm waiting on Shaka Tony, Nittany Lion. I'm waiting on him to get his sea legs and get going. Hey, man, when you play like them guys play in the Big Ten, they done played in the Big. This ain't nothing to them, man.
Yeah.
It's about get out and go get it because it's there. It's there. Talking about the crowd. The hell with the crowd. It could be empty. You playing for a check. The hell you care who's there?
Right.
Go get the money, man. This is what this is all about. All that other stuff is window dressing. Go get the cash.
And Smith Williams is one of those height, weight, speed guys that was injured a bunch. And I think he's healthy now. I think people are going to be surprised to see exactly how quick Smith Williams is.
I love him. When they drafted him, I loved it. Every time he's on the field, he chases the ball. As long as my defensive players chase the ball, we got a chance. Because punch outs, I mean, there's so many ways to get that ball now. You watched the highlight of last night's game. There was 5 punch outs. Guys had big plays, and defensive guys come there and knock that thing out, got some recoveries. The Lions had a good punch out. That's how they got that tie. Defense, man, and he did it. The plays and all that, yeah, that's okay. It's the heart. You chasing people. You getting through people, trying to run people down. Man, that's why defenses do wear down. You never hear them talk about the offensive line wearing down, do you? They're just out there the longest time. Defense, you wear down because you going against strength resistance and running. Hey, man, it's crazy over there.
Yeah, and that's why it's very intimidating to an offense when every time you catch the ball, you got 4 or 5 people hitting you. And when you can consistently do that, positive things happen when you're running the ball, because who knows when that punch out is going to happen or when that ball is going to squeak loose. And it just seemed like we was always around the ball and always in the right place, but we had guys around the ball. We had guys running to the ball.
You chase the ball.
That was a great defense.
That's why conditioning.
Is it frustrating as a player to tie?
Yeah. I mean, we had a tie in
London,
in Cincinnati, in London.
London.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was a championship team. They had so much talent,
bro. I forced that fumble on 4th and short on Andy Dalton, and then Anthony Lanier, my black college boy, got the fumble recovery. We get the ball back on offense. I think we kicked the ball on 3rd down because we was like, hey, this is close enough for you to make it. And we freaking kicked the shit wide left.
Man, that was that team. I love that team because that team had swagger. It had trash talkers, and they had guys who just love to play.
Yeah.
You know, Big Trent. I mean, I miss a lot. That man, B. Mitch had one team, not the championship team. Maybe it was 89. Or not, they were Ken Harvey. I mean, they looked like Greek gods. Marcus Washington. They was ripped up, played hard, and they didn't get a chance to win. We've had some good teams that didn't win, but when it all gets together, and that night in South Philadelphia when Bake's team, when they took the East, I'll never forget that, man. I'll never forget, because I love winning on an opponent's field in the division.
Right.
Because Philadelphia deserved to see that party and all the joy that was going on at their stadium as Bake's team won that division. And but what we got to do now, man, we haven't had a home playoff win since I had hair. You know, it's been a long time. That's what I want. I want a home playoff game again and that we win.
Doc, when I asked you to come on, it was before we lost the legend Sam Huff. I was hoping you'd spend a couple minutes with us telling us a little bit about him and your experiences with Sam.
Sam he's a superstar. He's one of the founders of this game, the NFL, that 1958 game against Baltimore. Sam was a great storyteller. He's a linebacker, 365 days a week. He embraced it. He didn't apologize for being who he was. He was built tough, West Virginia, coal miner. He embodied it. He's the guy that represented being a linebacker better than anybody I've ever met. I was a young pup, being able to be on the broadcast team with Sonny, Sam, and Frank, and then with Larry. being around these guys, I mean, the stories. He gave them the best Jim Brown stories. He played in so many big games. And he just was a tough guy that was also a star. Before television took over, before the NFL, he's the reason why it made that jump. He's one of those reasons. Played in New York. He's a giant. That's the biggest city we got. So if you're a star in New York, you're a star all over the world. That's what Sam was. And I just loved his linebacker attitude, man. And it was he wanted to be physical. He would have loved yesterday's game. And I just felt that vibe for 70. I really did. And his Sonny's relationship, I really enjoyed seeing that relationship, offensive guy and a defensive guy, two stars who understood the value of camaraderie and making sure the team was really the teams that I got around when I got here in 1980, they had been influenced by Sonny and Sam. Man, the closeness that these guys had and have, it rolled over onto us. And I always knew that I wanted to be a part of the team like the teams they played on. The Over the Hill Gang, the Wild Bunch, because they had spirit. And these dudes, I mean, best group ever to go out and have a frosted beverage with. They got it. And to go out to Sam's golf tournament, and he had a lot of things out at the track. Just a hell of a dude, man. And blessings to his family. May he rest in peace. I'm honored to have had a relationship with him to that point that I was on the broadcast with him, being able to hear his stories, and also having him call you games. Sonny, Sam, and Frank, man, we out in Super Bowl 17. These guys in the lobby, they were like the Beatles to me. These dudes, man, they were big time. And that's the kind of thing we had here. And we carried it on as best we could. And I want to have it again. I want to have that feeling again that we got big time games. And when people come to play us, they fear us and they fear the crowd. I want all that back. And I believe we took a step in the right direction Sunday.
Doc, I can't thank you enough for your time. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, the Doc Walker Show on Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon, and we're having fun. Sabah just joined the team Friday, and so her boy blew up. I got to give her credit for that. But that's the relationships that we have. Cowboy Clay, Mr. Chicago, Mike Bird, all the characters, man. It's what makes radio is our relationships. Like Bake came on that. I love Bake. I love chopping it up with Bake because I was hard on him when he played because I saw the potential. I'm watching practice. I go, who the hell is that? I'm just watching inside drills. This boy come off the ball. He bringing it. I said, ooh, I got to go meet Baker and learn his story, understand his talent, and then to get to know him and how hard he played. If I could have ever got him in Jack LaLanne's condition, he's all pro every year he plays. He got it. He figured it out. It's okay not to know it all, but it's not okay not to figure it out. He figured it out. And Bake got paid. Bake did some other nice things. I wish he was still playing, but you know what? He's contributing now. He's with us. He's in this field. And he'll be great at it because he's passionate about it. Yeah, and that's what it takes. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say good about him. I'm done. I keep saying all this good stuff about him. I'll never be able to get his head inside the room. He won't be able to fit inside the room. Yeah.
Swaggy dropped out and is back now.
Yeah, I heard he don't eat meat anymore. I heard he's vegan. They try to tell me, I'm laughing saying about vegan, my behind. Okay, we'll see.
Plant-based diet.
Oh, he's plant-based. Okay, yeah. So I tried to get him to do that while he was playing, but he wouldn't listen to me.
I wish I'd known. I thought eating baked chicken was healthy.
We were talking.
If I had a healthy meal while I was playing, it consists of baked chicken wings, some sweet potatoes, and some beans and a little bit of rice.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing, but I'm just telling you, if this boy, you see Aaron Donald's motor, that's the motor you got to play with.
Oh, without a question.
That's
without a question. That's why he's the best.
Yeah. Now Bake had the same skill set, but it's the engine. Roaring is keeping his engine going that long. See, that's the difference.
Right.
Yeah, I seen Aaron Donald. I seen him do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I seen him do the same thing, but it's doing it for 4 quarters. It's doing it for 2-3 years.
Right.
The thing Aaron Donald is amazing to me about, I've never seen him not play the same. Randy White was that same kind of player for Dallas. Manster, boy, was bringing it every snap. He was flat out LT every snap, bringing it. So we've had him here. And you'll see it, but the fact that our 2 linebackers, 52, 55, that was their best game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they coming, man, and they're babies. They're young. And so it's coming. I'm telling you what, I want to be good. I told him, I want to be good for years and years and years. I don't want one season. I want to be good every stinking year.
Yeah, and that's why I said with the linebackers, man, I don't believe in letting them learn from the bench. You got to put those guys out there in the fire.
Let them
the
play.
best way to learn is to get your ass whooped, because you're going to get tired of getting your ass whooped and watch it on film. So it's only going to behoove you to go out there and do what's right, be where you're supposed to be, because you don't want to keep getting called out in film. And our linebackers play the hell of a game.
Plus your mama understands, your wife understands, the kids, the babies, man. You don't want to be, no way, man. And that's the kind of pride I saw those guys play with. I saw them play with Sunday. All right, guys, I'm finna go hit the weight room.
Yep, no, appreciate you, Doc.
All right, man. Swaggy, number love, man.
I'll always love you, baby.
All right, man. Peace. All right.
All right.